Good morning from the depths of my basement. I'm coming down here to get stuff. Oh my god, my lens is filthy. I don't know what the heck happened there. Apparently I need to clean my phone off. She rang the bell? Okay, bud. Okay. I'll be right there. I need to find pants for Joshua. Okay, buddy. And apparently Ada now has to go potty. Okay. But of course, this is all Megwin. Oh boy. This is not going to be successful. Okay, Ada, I'm coming. I'm coming, Ada. Okay. Did she ring the bell, buddy? Did she ring the bell? No? Okay, here's your, here's your pants. She's probably wondering where I am. Ada! I have Ada outside. She is chilling in the woods a little bit. She was barking quite a lot this morning. I think she probably hears some other dogs. Since this is kind of the time everybody's leaving for the day, my guess is probably quite a few of the dogs in the area are barking as their humans depart for work. And Great Pyrenees have extremely sensitive hearing, so they can hear things even when there's lots of other ambient noise. So once she went outside, she calmed right down. So hopefully she will figure out whatever it is that was bothering her and get it sorted out. So this morning I need to finish up the shirt portion of Joshua's pajamas, and I'm pretty close on that. And then I'm going to cut the fabric for Megwin's and sorry, I'm looking for my scissors so I can trim this in. I'm going to show you where it's at now. I'm dealing a lot with static for the thread because it's super dry in the house. We have to shut down the pellet stove today and clean it because it's been running nonstop for days now and it's got a lot of ash in it, so it needs to be vacuumed out. This sweater is one that I want to reproduce to kind of replace it as a putting on sort of around the house sweater. So this one I've had for years and years. It's from Gap, and I think it's like 5 or 10% wool. But it's just a really nice shape. It's got really nice long cuffs, and I love the boat neck. It's a raglan shaping, and it's pretty long, so it looks good with leggings or with jeans. And I often just wear like the fleece lined legging tight things around the house. So I'm thinking that the Sperry sweater has a very similar neckline, and if I don't do the shirt tail hem and I just make a really long ribbing at the bottom, that will pretty much imitate this sweater, and I would just make the long cuffs. I don't really care about this button detail. I think if they were just plain ribbed cuffs, that would be great also. So what I want to do is make the Sperry out of the different mauve colors that I have and do a fade and use the mohair yarn that I got from Once Upon a Corgi to hold double with it. So it'll be really nice and warm, and it can be sort of a snuggling up around the house type sweater. But what I've been using for the static on the thread is this Thread Magic. And it's been helping, but yeah, it's mostly for threading the needle. And also I realized how dependent I was on my thumbnails for threading machine needles. So I always have a pretty long thumbnail. And I broke off 5 of my nails when we were traveling of the various times. So typically my nails grow quite long and they're very strong. But it was when I was adjusting the air vents above your head on the plane. I broke one of them doing that. I broke another one shoving a carry-on under the seat. I broke one, I don't even know all the things I did, but essentially I broke this one, this one, this one, this one, and this one. This one is the one that bothers me the most. I think this one's the one I broke when I was doing the air vent, actually. And it snapped off, so it was at least as long as this one. And it broke like all the way down under into the skin. So it's grown back pretty well, like you care. But you can see the place where I injured it right there, that little black line. Because it's down in my skin, not in the nail part. But it's already got a pretty good nail on it. My nails do grow quickly, but I had to cut it like all the way down, and it still had a ripped portion that was below into... I'm thinking of it as the quick because that's what you would call it for a dog. I don't know what humans would call it, but into this part where it connects to your finger. So it's growing, but it's really annoying when I try to thread my needle for the sewing machine because I hold it with my fingernails and put it in there. So I've had a really hard time threading to sew. It's driving me crazy. Here's the shirt so far. So on this pattern, it actually calls for doing the front band first and then doing the sleeves last, which I thought was really silly. I'm like, I'm going to get all the other stuff out of the way and then do the front bands last because I think they're the most fiddly piece. So the sleeves are already on and they're top stitch hemmed. It's connected. So I did the back. I went ahead and top stitched this portion just so that it would stay and lay nicely. I think it keeps it stable and it makes it a little bit easier to mess with the front pieces, because these you have to like press them and pop them out so that the edging is correct, and it's just easier if it's not all wiggling around. And then I also just did stitch in a ditch on the shoulders here for additional stability. I skipped a step on this. I did not use the interfacing on the button placket. I may regret that later, but I didn't have any interfacing in the house and I didn't feel like going out to buy any, and I didn't want that to stop me because I'm on a timeline. But 2, I don't really care that much that it's very stiff there. So I think it will be okay. I think the last piece I need to do today, I gotta look at this because I'm not sure how the hem goes. I feel like you lift it up and trim it, and then you fold the placket portion over top of the bottom hem. So like I'm gonna reveal secret sauce here, I guess. This is pretty standard though. So I'm turning the lower edge of the front facings to the outside along a seam and stitch above the raw edge. Yeah, so I'm doing a 1 1/4 inch hem on all of the lower edge. and then turning a 1/4 inch on the raw edge. So yeah, I think what's going to happen is I'm going to pull up the facing by that amount. Yeah, this part. I'm going to actually unpick this seam maybe and turn it up, because then it's going to fold down on top. I don't know. I feel like I didn't do that step. Maybe I did. I don't know. I don't think it matters that much. I think it's so you don't get double the thickness right there. Yeah, I think that's why. But basically, yeah, I just have to hem along the bottom. It's a little trick that I do. I don't know if this is legit or not, but I hate sitting there and measuring hems. I really hate it. So I just take my sewing machine, I set it to a basting stitch, and then I do a basting line, which is just the longest length stitch on the machine, and I run that line. So then I have a fold line that's a row of stitching, and then if I want to, I can go back and unpick that later, and it's really quick because basting stitches, there's not that many there. Or if I don't want to, then I just leave it, and it's typically folded on the inside anyway. So I'm going to run a 1/4 inch basting seam on this bottom part, and then I will be able to turn that in, press it, and then I'm going to do an inch hem on the bottom. And then I'm going to go ahead and hem it. And then I believe I turn my facing on top of it. I don't know if I have the buttonhole guide. Good question. Yeah. And then the next step is making the buttonholes. That will be awesome. So there you go. This should be pretty quick. And then I can get started on Megwins. And I'm at least I'm gonna prioritize the pants. Then we'll see how the shirt goes. All right. Finished everything on that was, I keep wanting to say coat. It's not a coat, it's a shirt. But other than the buttonholes, so I will do those a little bit later when Josh is home. I want to be in this room with Ada while he's gone. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut out the pattern pieces for this one. I kind of going back and forth on it. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the long sleeves from this to put on this, because it seems kind of silly to make a short sleeved flannel top. I think the long sleeves make way more sense and will be better for the training. I'm just going to cut out the size 7/8 of it because it is just a, you know, extra small, medium, and large. The medium is 7/8. It's slightly larger than Megwin's measurements, but since it's an elastic waist on the pants, I could make that smaller, and it's a very A-line top anyway, so that'll be fine if it's a little bit big, and it'll give her room to grow up here. And the pants, the length is pretty good on the 7/8, so we go with that, and that will save me having to draft the pattern, which is usually at least an extra 45 minutes to an hour, and I really don't have that kind of time today. So there you go. I have got almost all of Megwin's pajamas cut out. I barely squeaked it in. So while there is like like argyle print on this fabric. I did not do any pattern matching at all. These could be a total freaking disaster, but I did not have enough extra fabric to do that with. Like, I'm squeaking it in, and I'm maybe gonna have like, I don't know, maybe a 10 by 10 square left that hasn't been cut into. So definitely just enough. Part of that is because I chose to do the long sleeves instead of the short sleeves on the top for Megwin, but I really think that was the better choice. And Joshua's top is done except for the buttonholes and the buttons. If I can get everything cut out for Megwin's stuff, and I want to try to sew her pants really quick, then I might switch to working on his buttonholes, because then I could sew the buttons on just while I'm sitting and, you know, hanging out with the kids, because tonight is Josh's jujitsu night. So chances are I'm not going to get a ton of time in to actually do active sewing. So now thinking about that, I actually should just try to get as much done as I can. The Polar Express train is not until 5 tomorrow, but it is in a different town, and we need to get there about 30 minutes before. So really everything that I need to have done, I need to have done tomorrow by noon-ish. Again, like, if I can get the pants done, whatever. She can wear like a gray or a white top with it, and that'll be fine. Or she could choose to wear one of her nightgowns, because she has 2 of those. And then I'll focus on just finishing Joshua's, because they're so close to being done. Her top may or may not be fiddly. I don't know. But I don't have any more time to waste chatting. I have to get cutting. Trying to get Ada to come with me, and she keeps finding things. Come on, Ada. Come on. Still crunching our way through life. Whew. I got most of Megwin's, well, I got Megwin's pants done except for the elastic, which I needed to measure her for, but she was in the back. And then, you know, Joshua's, I just need to do the buttonholes and sew the buttons on, which I can do in the morning. Megwin's shirt may or may not get done. Oh boy, that is a big bunch of ice. Ada, wait. Ada, heel. Good girl. Thank you. I have to go slow because I can't see the ice. So we're just out doing a really quick walk while Josh is still here. Tonight's jiu-jitsu night, so he'll be gone. And it'll just be the kids and I. And I'd rather she be mostly asleep. She's definitely eating more food. She's not completely up to where they suggest for Great Pyrenees. They say like between 6 and 8 cups. She's eating about 4 or 5. But her previous owners just let her kind of free range, which is not a good idea for these dogs because they have a really slow metabolism, and they could have gastric issues with that if you let them just eat meat. So anyway, we are definitely picking up between her meals, and we're monitoring obviously as well, just to make sure she's eating properly. Come on, Ada. You hear something, sweetie? Come on. Yeah, I hear the doggies over there. It's fine. Ada. Come on. Ada, come on. Come this way. We'll come back around. Come on. Come on. We gotta keep patrolling, sweetie. I'm sure this is super interesting. My dark flashlight walks. This will be way better. Like, I'm ordering the little light thing for going on the leash, and that's really going to help a lot, I think. Then I won't have to try to hold everything at once. There's my tree. Oh, you can't really see it because it's blown out. It's so dark. Let's see if we get closer, if we can see it better. Just like how it looks in the, yeah, I like how it looks in the window. Ada, what are you doing? Come on. You keep patrolling, sweetie. Okay, let's not. Woo! Little do-si-do. Come on, careful, we're in the very icy part of the driveway. Oh my god. She keeps walking on the wrong side of me. Alright. Leave it. It's okay. It's okay. Come on. Good. Stop doing that. We'll get the heel thing down, won't we? I just like to make sure she goes pee before I only have myself. Oh my goodness. Well, at least you're making me come out. I wouldn't have wanted to do that if I didn't have you to make me. So anyway, I told Megwin she may have to just wear a t-shirt, and she seemed fine with that. Or she said, oh, I could wear my nightgown on top of the pants. But I think it would look weird. All her nightgowns are kind of blue, and the pants are Gryffindor fabric, so they are gold and burgundy. I just think it would look very nice. There's your fire ring. In the dark, dark woods. Oh, look at that darkness. Lighted. What are you doing, Ada? No. No, we're not going to go get more dirty old fruit. It's like a Blair Witch Project. I'm so scared right now. If I don't eat it in the forest. Let's get this on the icy ice. So icy. We need some snow. All this ice is just treacherous by itself. We need like a nice snowy cover on it. Hopefully we'll get some soon. The kids are very excited for Polar Express tomorrow though. And keep asking, is it today? When's it going to happen? So that's good. I'm glad they're excited. That's sort of our main Christmas present to them this year is the Polar Express, because, you know, the tickets were not inexpensive. But it's great. They'll really enjoy the experience and they'll have a lot of fun. So I'd much rather get them something they're really going to enjoy than just a toy that they're going to play with and forget about. Okay, sweetie. God, these are so slippery. I also ordered some snow boots and snow pants. Just some cheapy snow pants, but it would be nice to have a little more leg protection as it gets colder, since we are just starting winter here. December is just beginning. Oh, I'm sorry, it's been super blurry this whole time. And I finally broke down and got some real winter boots, because up until now I've been wearing my bean boots. Leave it. Which are not an all-season boot. They are these. They're just basic waterproof boots with leather, but they are not very warm. They don't have any insulation at all. So as soon as it gets cold, basically my wool socks are all that's keeping my toes warm right now. So I got some Sorels with some money that we got from family for Christmas. So that'll be nice. My husband has had his Sorels for probably 20 years, maybe longer. No, longer, because he got them when he was a teenager. His mom got them for him. So I expect that I will get some decades of use out of them, and they will be very nice boots. It's pretty much all the nighttime ramblings that I have for you. Maybe I will show some more sewing this evening, but if not, I hope everyone has a great night, and I will see you tomorrow for Polar Express and the last bit of sewing, and maybe some candy cane shortbread cookies, because I really want some. But I need to make the dough and refrigerate it for several hours to make them. So, say bye, Ada. Say bye.